Imagine being the first person to sail into uncharted waters, not knowing what lies ahead. No GPS, no satellite images, just a ship, some maps, and a sense of adventure. That's exactly what Captain James Cook did, becoming one of the greatest explorers in history and forever changing how we see the world. This is the incredible story of the man who mapped the Pacific. Let's set the scene. It's the 18th century. The world is a much smaller place, at least in terms of what people thought they knew. Vast stretches of the Pacific Ocean were a mystery. Stories of mythical lands and sea monsters filled the gaps on maps. But one man was determined to turn the unknown into the known: James Cook. Born in 1728 in a small Yorkshire village, Cook wasn't from wealth or privilege. In fact, he started out as a farmhand. But he had something that couldn't be taught: a hunger for discovery. He joined the British Royal Navy at 27, much older than most recruits, and quickly stood out for his skill in navigation and cartography. Cook wasn't just a sailor, he was a thinker, a planner, and a pioneer. Fast forward to 1768, and Cook is given the chance of a lifetime. He's chosen to command the HMS Endeavour on a scientific expedition to the Pacific. Officially, the mission was to observe the transit of Venus, a rare astronomical event. But unofficially, the British government wanted Cook to search for the mythical southern continent, Terra Australis. Cook wasn't just charting stars, he was about to reshape the map of the world. The journey was anything but smooth. The Endeavour faced raging storms, unpredictable currents, and diseases that wiped out entire crews on other voyages. But Cook's leadership was unmatched. He implemented strict hygiene practices on board, making sure his crew ate fresh food and avoided scurvy, which was the #1 killer of sailors at the time. His efforts saved countless lives and set new standards for long voyages. When Cook reached the Pacific, he didn't just sail aimlessly. He mapped it with incredible precision. Using nothing more than basic tools like sextants and compasses, he charted coastlines that were unknown to Europeans. New Zealand, he mapped both islands. The east coast of Australia. Cook was the first European to make detailed charts of it, claiming it for Britain in the process. These maps were so accurate that they were used for navigation well into the 20th century. But Cook wasn't just about maps, he was also about people. Along the way, he encountered indigenous cultures that Europeans had never seen before. From the Maori of New Zealand to the Aboriginal peoples of Australia, Cook's interactions were a mix of curiosity, respect, and, unfortunately, conflict. His voyages brought the Pacific into the European consciousness, but also marked the beginning of profound changes and challenges for the people who had called these lands home for thousands of years. Cook's explorations didn't stop with Australia. He ventured further into the Pacific, visiting places like Tahiti, Hawaii, and even Alaska. He sailed into the Arctic Circle, pushing the limits of what anyone thought was possible. It's no exaggeration to say that Cook redrew the world map, turning blank spaces into detailed coastlines. But Cook's story isn't all triumph. His final voyage ended in tragedy. In 1779, during his third Pacific expedition, tensions with native Hawaiians escalated, leading to Cook's death in a violent confrontation. It was a shocking end for a man who had spent his life exploring and documenting the unknown. Despite his untimely death, Captain James Cook's legacy is monumental. He wasn't just an explorer, he was a scientist, a navigator, and a leader. His maps and journals expanded humanity's understanding of the world and inspired generations of adventurers. So next time you look at a map of the Pacific, remember the man who charted its vast expanse with nothing more than courage, determination, and a love of discovery. Captain James Cook didn't just map the Pacific, he connected the world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story of exploration and discovery, hit that like button, subscribe for more epic tales, and let us know in the comments which explorer's story should we cover next. Until next time, keep exploring.